Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are tuning in from. We have a special interview for you guys today. Everybody, please welcome Ming-Na Wen. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good, good. I didn't realize this was live, so I'm trying to tweet about it right now.
I'll take
That's
it.
awesome.
Get people to, but how do you do your hashtag or your name? What is it?
501st Legion.
50 like O, like the letter O.
501.
501 ST.
501 Legion. I'm seeing if it pops up. I'm really bad at this stuff, obviously. There's Legionnaires. Legion.
501 ST, like first, like 501 ST, Legion. Should.
There it is.
Yay! Thank you
Okay.
so much.
I'm tweeting. We're live.
That
Okay.
is so awesome.
Yeah, you guys can talk.
We love that you are joining us here today. We're so excited to have you. But before we begin, I want to mention a little bit about the 501st Legion for those that do not know who we are, and then we'll talk about actually what we're doing here today. The 501st Legion is an all-volunteer organization that seeks to promote interest in Star Wars through the building and wearing of quality costumes and to facilitate the use of those costumes for Star Wars-related events, as well as contributions to the local community through costume charity and volunteer work. And Dina, if you want to talk a little bit about first.
Yeah, so thank you again for having me to be part of this. So my name is Dino Ignacio, and I'm part of the Legion as well. And the charity we're supporting this next 3 days in support of the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm is FIRST. FIRST is a STEM program where young, new, and rich minds are learning more about science and technology, and they have a robotics program, and it's really just paving the way for the future of our technology, with the help of like making sure kids are caught up. So their mission is to inspire diverse and young people participate in team-based STEM programs supported by knowledgeable volunteer communities. So thank you for being here. And if you are entertained by this program you're on or any other that you've seen these last 3 days, please consider donating. It's so important for us to make sure that we help STEM out.
Absolutely. And yeah, click that. I think it's probably be right about here on your screen, like somewhere around here, little donate link. Yeah, please remember to click that. And Ming-Na, if you're ready, we'd like to start with asking you some questions.
Yes, I'm so glad that you informed me. Because a lot of times I just read a quick title and I don't read all the content. And I was like, oh yeah, celebrating 50 years of Lucasfilm. Great. Oh, 501 Legion. Great.
Yeah.
But this is fantastic. I didn't realize this was also for all these charitable organizations. It's wonderful.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of actors and authors and I think artists and writers that have been on over the past actually since 2 p.m. on Friday. So
Wow.
it's been running all weekend long, and we're trying to raise money for FIRST. So again, we can't thank you enough for being on here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is like a marathon that
Yes.
you're doing.
Yeah.
Which is a great segue to just like thank everyone behind the scenes. We have amazing people who have just been working on this for over a month, and just like massive amount of people, volunteer folks making this happen today. It's just amazing. So thank you to everyone working on this.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm glad I was able to join you. So fantastic.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So you recently became a member of our Star Wars family as a bounty hunter named Fennec Shand. But before we get to her, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe something the fans across the world do not know about you?
Well, obviously, most of my fans know that I'm a huge Star Wars freak. most of them know that it was my religion growing up as a kid. What they don't know about me is that I am nothing like Fennec Shand or any of these like badass characters that I play. And obviously, from the start of this conversation, I'm not as flaky as I appear. But I've been inundated since we wrapped the Book of Boba Fett with like other jobs and my remodel, and so my head has been in a million places. So a lot of times I say yes to things because I love Star Wars so much, and I knew this was for something. I wasn't sure specifically what it was for. So yeah, I'm kind of a mingy dingy. I don't know if people know that.
So building on that, I think I read somewhere.
Building on that.
I might have been on StarWars.com where I read it. I understand that you were in a science fiction club in high school.
Yes. I was in a science fiction and fantasy club in high school. I played Dungeons and Dragons in high school. I was president of that club, actually. And so, it being part of the Star Wars world right now and getting this opportunity is my golden ticket. It's absolutely a dream come true.
That's amazing. To segue to a next question, you've had a fascinating career, Ming-Na. From starting out in an episode in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood to like your highly regarded role in Joy Luck Club that I do remember watching and seeing like, oh, we are seen because of this. And I love that movie, and it still resonates with me even as a young man. I loved it, and I saw how empowering it was for everyone. And also then being a Disney princess, and then really solidifying like a lot of like being seen as a culture in pop culture media, and then now in Star Wars. And so this question is about like, what are you most proud of in this like amazingly what's the word I'm looking for? This amazing career that you've had. Yes.
I think if anything, if I could be an example for AAPI community or anyone in general about being different, being an outsider, being someone who never fully felt like she fit in. I mean, I grew up in a very, very white neighborhood when we moved from New York to Pittsburgh. And if you just have enough conviction and belief in yourself, and you're true, like Mulan, if you're true to your heart, then your dreams can come true. If I could be a testament to that, because truly all the stuff that you're saying that has happened in my life and in my career, they're all gifts, number one, and two, it's just it's sort of like it's showcasing who I am. I'm that nerd that loved science fiction. I'm the I'm that wallflower who never felt like she sort of could achieve anything or make her parents proud in Joy Luck Club as June. So, if you're just true to yourself, then you can make your dreams come true.
Thank you. That's amazing.
That's what I'm most proud of. And my children, I guess.
That's awesome. And them too. And the kids.
Yeah, and them.
That's hilarious. So Fennec was last seen in both The Mandalorian and also in The Bad Batch, which I have to say I love. It was great seeing that. And it was like one of those, for me, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I know who that is. It was just like, okay, this is just building and building and building, and the character is becoming, bigger and bigger. But it's one thing I wanted to add prior to asking you this question was just seeing the buildup of the character and then how you portrayed her was just amazing. Like from that bar scene where he's talking, about if you're going after Fennec Shand with, just yourself, you're not going to make it till dusk. That was just like the ultimate buildup. And then to have you come in and just nail it, it was just mind blowing to me.
Thank you.
So that being said, you're also going to be appearing in the book of Boba Fett. Can you share with us how you landed the Fennec Shand role and how you got in the mindset to become her?
Several amazing things happened that where everything aligned. First, I have to thank my girlfriend Tamita from Joy Luck Club. She's no, I mean, we're all the girls from the Joy Luck Club and the moms. We're still a family. We're still friends. We group text each other all the time, and she knows what a huge Star Wars fan I was. And we were at a party, and she met up with Deborah Chow, who was working on the Mandalorian. So Tamlin was like, "You have to meet Deborah. You have to meet Deborah." I'm like, okay, okay. So, I met up with Deborah, and Deborah and I hit it off. And so from that, you're at these parties, these Hollywood parties, and they say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm gonna mention you, blah blah blah," and you don't hear anything afterwards. But Deborah was true to her word, and I think she brought me up to Jon Favreau and Dave, and they apparently had a conversation, and then I was offered this role, and basically that's how that happened. And then John and Dave and I sat down, and we really really talked about her and kind of hashed out, because she was only in one episode, and I was actually kind of hesitant to do it because the character dies in the episode, and there was a part of me that didn't want to do it. I'm like, I've been holding out for decades, to be in Star Wars, and I'm just gonna end up being in like 2 or 3 little scenes, and then I die. But after talking to John and Dave, and they were just so amazing and collaborative, I was like, you know what, I gotta do it. Maybe I'll never have another opportunity again. And that's how that all started. And as you know, she dies. Well, sort of near death.
So to follow up on that, obviously, she did not die after that, which is great. And you got an opportunity to really build the character, right? So I guess my question to follow up what Jesse asked is, how much of Fennec's character and persona was in the script and in the direction, or maybe in the costuming, and so how much of it was from Ming-Na? Like, obviously, you've been a Star Wars fan for a while, and a sci-fi nerd for a while. So did you build in some of the things that you've always wanted to see, or was this all in the script?
No, I mean, in fact, they, after our conversation, John and Dave were so receptive that they made her more. We worked on some of the things and elements to make her more cunning and more um, uh, harder to kill, because she wasn't handcuffed in the original. And I was just like, well, if she's really a badass assassin and she's just with this one punk, even though he has a gun on, a laser on her, I would think she would find a way to be able to get out of that situation. So, so that's when she got handcuffed. So, like, little things like that. What I'm most proud of is absolutely helping to create the look of Fennec Shand. Because there's something that I think I saw or read or heard about, that every character in Star Wars, there is a silhouette that makes them extremely recognizable. And I wanted that for Fennec. I wanted her silhouette to be, and the costume already helped tremendously. Beautiful, beautiful design. And her helmet and everything. So for me, the hair, I worked with Maria, um, our hairstylist, on it, where we took the name of Fennec Fox, and there's something very cunning and stealth and a loner with the whole fox image, and I wanted to create like the Fennec ears. So we did that in the braiding, where there's like a triangular thing in the braiding of her hair, and then in the long braid tail is the fox's tail. And
Mm.
then Maria like added these orange cording because that's the fox color and it was part of the costume's color.
Yeah.
So it all just kind of like organically happened. And that I'm really proud of because it made her seem just more that assassin badass character
That's
that
so
I needed. Yeah.
that's fascinating. So were you involved in I'm assuming the development of the name as well and also like the
No, no, no.
characters
She
the
was already
character?
Fennec. I took inspiration from that name.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
Because I didn't even know that
deep.
there was such a thing as a Fennec fox. But when I looked up, when I was researching, I was like, oh, there's a fox named Fennec. Oh, that's where that came from. So it just all sort of happened from the name.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you have any say in the well, I know you mentioned some parts with the hair, but as far as like the costume, the costuming process for your character, did you have any say in that as far as like when you were trying things on, did something, you just not agree with or
No, there was, I mean, the costume itself was also my inspiration because that was already created for her. And the only thing I would do was I would just tweak little things here and there to make the silhouette, tighter or look more flattering. But it was there already. It's a beautiful design. Um, and I think for me, it was being able to work in the costume that,
Mm.
because there are like, I want to say one, two, three, four, 5 layers to that costume. Because there's an inner, my bodysuit, and then there's the one piece, and then there's the shoulder piece, and then there's the skirt piece, and then there are the gloves, and then the boots. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to work and run and do stunts and stuff in that costume.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question about the
I also
way.
wanted a bulletproof, laser-proof
Yeah.
Beskar shield. And you don't understand. I was like, during that episode when we were shooting, and I was asking Dave, I'll be like, well, what if she, it was like just she had some sort of armor protection in that area.
I love that it's almost like you're playing D&D here and just like, how do I buff my character, right? How do I add more armor to her? It's amazing.
that is awesome.
I want to quickly ask about, the way you portrayed her, right? So, she was very stoic and the few words that she said had meaning and had purpose.
Hmm.
And I want to just like, go into your mind about like what that process is, because people probably don't realize how much effort it is to be still and like be quiet in as an actor, right? It's a there's some you're not just like static there. Even in your silence, there's weight to it. So we'd love to get into the process of how you built that and what it took to be that character and how do you make every moment meaningful for her.
Yeah, because I'm so like her in that respect, right?
I don't know. Well,
Very
you're very
stoic,
animated. Yeah.
not very talkative. um, yeah, I had an opportunity to really hone that kind of energy from playing as Agent May for 7 years. Uh, and it's very difficult in the sense that it, it's almost like the Force in a way, where you are projecting that energy or the thought without saying anything. So you have, as an actor, you have to really, really believe in the moment, um, and live it, and that way it comes through and goes into and the camera is able to pick up on that energy. Um, and I wanted very much to not have the same type of kind of stoicism that Agent May had. Agent May was very maternal in how she approached things, even though she didn't say it. She was kind of like the tough love mom. And Fennec isn't.
Mm.
Fennec is very much about all for herself. What she could, what can she get out of this? She's very mercenary, very calculating. And so the way the language was written, I wanted to create sort of a more lyrical way in the way she spoke, that there was some sort of like caressing of words and sort of almost like hypnotic in certain ways to try to get people to, and yet there's a lot of danger under it. So that was sort of, I watched actually videos of fennec foxes moving, and that kind of like produced the rhythm in the way she spoke, so that it became almost poetic in some ways when she's talking. There's a quality of the way she spoke that is different, and certain pauses that she would make that's different. So that's how I try to achieve her quality.
That's awesome. Do you, as a follow-up to that, do you, obviously you've played a lot of different characters through your career. Do you find yourself like making sure that when you come up with a new character that it's a little bit of like what you had before, or you try to find like how do I challenge myself and build somebody who's not something that I built before?
Yeah, I mean it's really fun to, challenge, to take on that challenge. And of course, in acting there's always going to be an element of you. It
Yeah.
has to, it has to come from some base of truth. And so for for that reason, if I change a little bit of my voice, a little bit, it's very subtle, and only I, and I think doing a lot of voiceover work, I've been doing a lot of animations, and I've got a few more that's coming up. It's been wonderful to do that because you're only working with your voice. So you're always able to manipulate the pitch or the rhythm, and that helps to create it. But yeah, I'm always, you know, it would be weird to like put June into Fennec. It wouldn't
Right.
make sense or whatever. So yeah, it's always it has to be a different character, different background, different life, different.
Yeah.
But I always bring a lot of I think my I don't know,
Sensibilities, I guess, or like yourself into it.
spirit, my soul. Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm sounding so actory, I can't stand it.
Oh, but it's just because it's a testament to all these characters. It really does come through, right? I mean, to your point,
I
just
mean, they
going
have to
back
be
to,
alive, they can't be
yeah,
caricatures. So, because if you just play a caricature of somebody who's a badass or somebody it's boring, you know?
right.
Yeah. So,
That's awesome.
So, do you have, well, actually, if you could you share with us one of your favorite memories from being on the set of The Mandalorian?
okay, now here's the part where I have to censor and figure out I think the first day, the very first day. Seriously. I'm in my Fennec costume, in my Fennec hairdo, and I go on set, and I had no idea what the volume was, which is the LED screened fantastical new technology that we have in filmmaking. So I walk in, and it's a blank space, dark, with some sand on the floor and some pieces of rock. And I walk in, I'm like, oh, wow, it's like high school theater. like the black box or something. And not very impressive. And I just remember we rehearsed a bit. Dave Filoni was directing his first live action um, episode. So that was really cool. And all of a sudden they turned on the volume, and it was Tatooine with the binary sunset.
Wow.
And it took everything in my power not to just break down and cry because, as a teenager, as a little girl, 12 years old, that's all I dreamed about was being a Jedi, being on Tatooine, going on adventures with Luke and Leia and Han. and I was right there, and it blew my mind, blew my mind. I was so shocked because it's that photorealistic when you're on the set. You
Wow.
you're just there. So I immediately, like, we're not supposed to take pictures on set. I'm like, oh, screw that. So I asked the first AD, I'm like, you have to take a picture of me looking at the binary sunset. You have to, with my one leg up, like Luke Skywalker, that amazing moment.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
That amazing, amazing 30 seconds of film that lives with us forever when he's trying to figure out if he'll ever have his dreams come true. So that's what we did. And that's
Oh
like
wow.
favorite moment.
Oh, that's
What a
awesome.
fan moment. Amazing. I
Yeah,
it, it
crazy. Yeah, it's making me cry right now. It's crazy.
it's melting my heart to hear that someone like you with all this experience, you're not jaded and you love it as much as we do. And it's just fascinating. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, seriously, like, if you're that jaded, that's really sad. I think. I really think so. As a human being, it would just be so sad not to
I
love something
mean,
like that.
maybe that's a good follow-up question for this was is that what is the tone of these shoots? Like, from me and Jesse's point of view, we assume that it's, oh, all actors are professional, ergo, they're probably not phased by any of this. But looking at you and talking to a few other people who have been on these panels we've been going through, even someone like, say, Lee Torresi, who, performs as R2D2, is fanboyed every time he's on set. So is that the experience? Is everyone on set as big a fanboy as we all are?
Who can I rat out? I don't even know if I can say this. Oh, well, what the heck? It's a really cute dynamic. Um, Tim and I are like the yin and yang. Temuera Morrison, um, he doesn't get phased as much about things as I do. Like, I get on set and I'm just like, every new toy, every new whatever. I just, for like 5 minutes, I'm like going gaga over this or that or that or this, and he's just kind of standing there a bit stoic and just watching me do it. And so it's fun to watch him. He's got a heart of gold, and yet pretty much he'd be like, "All right, let's get to work, Ming. Come on."
I love that it fits the clone and the Boba Fett in him to be that way.
I know, I know. Well, I guess he's been around the block a few times with it. I don't know, or but it's adorable, and I love him to death. But I think for me, it's yeah, it'll always be a constant. Every, like, I can't wait for Fennec Shand toys to come out. It's been I keep waiting. I keep like asking Dave. I'm like, Dave, when are my toys coming out?
Look, if I can openly beg for a Fennec Shand hot toy right now because I
I know.
collect them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I need, if you're listening, Sideshow, Hot Toys, whoever, I need a Fennec Shand hot toy.
Yes, me too. That's I love the way you display your stuff. I'm remodeling my house and I'm trying to figure out like the nicest, coolest way to like display all my toys. I still have like, unfortunately, I played with a lot of them, but I have the originals like from 1977 or wherever.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
like, but they're a little beat up, and I'm sure if I had to collect more pristine ones, it'd be an arm and a leg. But
Oh, yeah.
Jesse and I have a bunch of questions rolling in our messenger chat right now. And one that somebody was asking was Diana Lee Inosanto, had commissioned from a fan a replica of the Beskar spear that she used as a magistrate. Would you, as your, is there anything that you would want a commission or a replica of from a Fennec to have in your house now that you're redecorating?
ooh, I
That's a
would
good
think her
question.
helmet
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. I would feel comfortable about having her big ass rifle. Um, but definitely, yeah, I would love her helmet.
Yeah, well, you'll probably end up with 6 of them from people listening right now. Right, that's probably what's gonna happen.
It's a, I'm gonna do, okay, no more helmets.
No more helmets. Exactly.
Well,
I like diamonds. Does
if there's
Fennec
an
wear
extra,
diamonds? No.
if there's an extra, someone can send one to me. I'll take it.
Okay, I'll pass one to you, Jess.
Oh, thank you. Most appreciated.
Yeah.
Jesse, do you want to ask a question before I tackle the ones that Gina sent us?
You know what? We still got Ming-Na. Are you still good on time?
Yeah.
Okay. So
If
why
anyone
don't you,
wants to ask why she doesn't die, I'll let you know.
Oh,
if you want to just throw another one in, we'll just like throw the fan questions in between the ones that we're asking. So go ahead and take another one, Dina.
sure. So here's a fun one. So Mushu was Mulan's spirit guide, obviously. In Star Wars, who would be the spirit guide for Fennec, and what would it be like if she had a spirit guide?
Interesting. Her spirit guide. It would have to be like sort of an a non-existent spirit thing, right? That's interesting. Ooh.
Would it be like some sort of like Star Wars version of a fox? Would be cool, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean so much of her character is based on that. Yeah, I think so. I think a good like evil fox with some heart. A misunderstood fox. So,
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, we'll dive back into a question from me. At the end of The Gunslinger, Fennec's introduction into The Mandalorian, fans were left to believe that we had seen the last of her, and thank God we didn't. Did you know at that point that you were coming back for season 2, and how hard was that for you to keep a secret?
I did not know after we shot. The long story made short is that Dave Filoni and I, while we were shooting, discovered that we both grew up in the same town in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Mount Lebanon, and that we both went to the same high school. Different years, of course. But that blew us. Blew us. I'm sorry. That blew our minds because to think that two nerds growing up in this, small little town in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ended up on a Star Wars set. And of course, Dave had been doing it for so long. But I think after that, Dave was, nope, she can't die no matter what now. She can't die.
Oh. So that was the ticket, being from the same
and I was
town.
just like, no, she can't. Dave, she can't die. And I kept going, maybe at the end we should do one shot, one take at the end after she shot where you just like close in on a close-up of her hand and it kind of like twitches a little bit. Maybe. Like every day I would just like drop little ideas about how we could shoot it where Fennec isn't dead. But I didn't know after we shot it until much later, months later, that they wanted me back and that they were going to find a way to resurrect her, and I had no idea. I was just so happy, to even have one more episode in The Mandalorian, and then when I think it was three episodes, and then the whole Boba Fett thing. Crazy. I mean, come on, Boba Fett.
I know.
Yeah.
And then directed by Robert Rodriguez. It was just like,
right.
What is going on in my life? I have no idea. So yeah, it was, and then it was really difficult to keep a secret when I found out that I come back. Yes.
I love how your persistence led to all this, right? I mean, the fact that you really wanted this role eventually is in some part the reason why we even have a Boba Fett show, because it's like now we've got like these two break off characters that can go off on their own. So thank you for that. That's
Well,
amazing.
no, I mean, I think I have to thank Dave and John, and I think I also have to thank the fans because truly, when Gunslinger um, came out, that and the fans were so upset that she died, so thanks to them, truly, they also helped to maybe solidify the idea because I think they already had an idea and I had no idea, but it's really the Star Wars fans I think helped a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the well, after the end of that, at the end of that episode, watching it and hearing the spurs, the sound, with Boba walking up towards you, and I'm sitting there going, "She's not
Scott.
going.
Yeah.
She's not
That's
going.
all
There's
he
no
did.
way she's gone." Right. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love the character so much is because now you're like paired up with the most badass bounty hunter in all of the galaxy. And that's just, to me, it's just like, okay, this is like from the build up to seeing this, the gunslinger at the end of it, they hear the spurs, and then now she's back. And then to be in the book of Boba Fett, I'm just like, I'm thankful for it. I think it's awesome. And I think excuse me, the pairing of you two is just, it gives more weight to how badass Fennec Shand is, which I think is really cool.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's always nerve-wracking to work on any new series or any new projects. But because The Mandalorian is just a little bit popular.
Just a little.
So it's a tough act to follow. Big shoes to fill in a lot of ways. So fingers crossed that when the Book of Boba Fett comes out, I think, never know, but really hoping that we entertain the fans and that they like it.
So I'm gonna read a question from one of the people watching right now. They ask, with Asian roles where they are now, and how would you say things have changed since Vanishing Sun? And was that show ahead of its time in a way?
Wow, Vanishing Sun. I don't even know if anybody remembers what that one was. It was a series that starred Russell Wong, and to have an Asian male lead was incredible at that time. I think it's definitely much improved as far as Asian representation, and it's across the board, right? So many different. Oh, sorry, that's my computer. So many different cultures and backgrounds and stories that can be told, and a wider audience globally. That's really important. And I think it can only improve. Very grateful to have been there to keep the movement going, but it's tough. It's really tough. We have to write our own stories. We have to believe that our own stories are worth telling and that it will have a universal appeal if it's told right, kind of like what Amy Tan did with a very, she says the more you write about something that's personal and true to who you are, the more universal it can become. And that I'm taking that and creating and producing some story pieces that I'm interested in doing that kind of showcase Asian American history. I think that's really lacking. Where
Yeah.
we need that representation.
That's awesome. I'll have a panel later on today on representation in Star Wars, but I'll ask you a question that I was going to ask my panel later on. So obviously, I love the fact that we have more people of color in starring roles in Star Wars with yourself and Tam coming in as well. And it's such an amazing moment for representation. But at the same time, I guess my question is, how does representation fit into a fantasy world that's such as Star Wars? Like, how much of our culture and our own histories can live in a world where you were talking about alien races, right? And so obviously you're not Ming-Na, and you're Tam is not really Tam in these stories. And so how much do we bring, and when is it? Can it still be representative in a world where you are an alien? If that makes sense as a question.
That's interesting. I mean, I think it can only be represented up to a point, but at the same time, like George Lucas was really influenced by Kurosawa's films, and you know, and you could see so many of that Asian influence um, in Star Wars. You know, everything from the lightsabers, which were the swords, everything from, you know, the samurai swords were like it, and just certain
Yeah.
images and pictures, and so it can definitely have the layers of our
Yeah.
culture. Um,
Right.
but yeah, but that's interesting because we can't fully put the actual culture into it.
Yeah.
So, but you could do it in the costumes. Like I feel like even Fennec's costume, there is a bit of, you know, an Asian silhouette to it.
Right.
Um, so yeah, but I think just our faces is a strong way to represent.
It definitely is. Like, if I can just
We
quickly
can't do our
just
language or our food or whatever, you know. Yeah,
like,
because it
as a father of a 9-year-old Asian girl,
Mhm.
looking at the Mandalorian and seeing you, to her now she feels like she belongs to the universe out there, to the galaxy out there. And that's a big deal for her. And she's like thinking, this is a costume we can build. And now we are part of Star Wars. And I don't have to, like, as much as she loves being Leia or Jyn Erso, she can be Fennec. And that's a big deal for her. And I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that I think that's a very important thing.
Yeah. Well, you know, Kelly Marie Tran, and you know, there's so many I'm blanking on Diane's, yeah. What's her last name? Oh,
Inosanto, yes.
thank you.
Diana,
Thank you.
no, yes.
Yes. See, I need more coffee. You know, the it's definitely much improved. So, you know, and Donnie Yen was in,
Yes.
and as well as um mm, help me. But anyways, there's
Yeah, we've got lots of space
yeah,
Asians now, which is great.
I'm so bad with names. It's terrible.
It's
Okay.
okay. Jesse, do you want me to throw in another fan question, or do you want to jump into your
Yeah,
next one?
if you got yeah, we've got about 17 more minutes. So yeah, if you want to
Yeah,
take a few more
I
fan
have
questions.
I have one that's coming. It's about Agents of Shield. So this person, Tristan, asks. So I've been watching Agents of Shield from its first season until the finale, and Agent May was absolutely my favorite. I just wanted to ask, how did you feel to transition from AOS to Mandalorian, as well as what were your favorite experiences in both shows? Thank you very much, he says.
Oh, okay. What, A West?
AOS, Agents of Shield. So he said from Agents of
Oh,
Shield,
AOS, AOS.
AOS.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
I just heard A West. Um, well, you know, they're both like superheroes in some ways, right? Where they have these incredible skills to fight and be fearless, but it's different. I mean, the two mediums are extremely different, first of all. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a network show, and The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett is Disney Plus. Just completely different style of filming and different pace. So I really like it, especially as I'm getting older, to be with this slower pace versus what we had to do on Agents of Shield. I mean, Agents of Shield, it was crazy. We were shooting 5 to 7 pages a day, you know, and it's just like you barely have time to breathe. and the hours are extremely long. And I mean, the only thing that made it difficult to shoot, like let's say the Book of Boba Fett, was because of all the COVID protocols right now that we had to also instill. But otherwise, like the pace is just so much. You can really focus. You can really like work out a scene and make, you know, make it come out and come through more organically, in as opposed to just feeling like you're constantly rushed to make very quick choices and decisions, which isn't bad. It's you know, it's it's a good skill to have.
So would you say that The Mandalorian is filmed more like a movie rather than a TV show? If that's what it starts to feel like in pacing.
Yeah, it's like the middle of it, because I think on a movie it's even slower. You
Hmm.
know, they'll take like 3 days to shoot a page, or a week to shoot a page, and we still have to shoot like at least a page a day. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a much, you know, for me as an actor, as an artist, it's nice to be able to have that breathing space to sort of try things out.
Yeah. People don't realize that about like acting and that pacing that you're talking about, how in a movie set maybe, or maybe somewhat in The Mandalorian, if you are indeed just shooting a page a day or 3 pages a day, you're holding on to those emotions for much longer, and you sort of, maybe you can turn it off, but you have to turn it on again the next day, and it's like this extended process of like holding on to that same mood. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah, yeah, it's different, you know, but I don't know. I've learned to sort of, you could make quick choices and just do it, or but I do, I like the slower pace.
Cool. Awesome.
So here's another question from the fans out there that are watching. They want to know who plays the piano and the guitar that's in the background.
It's all for show because I'm Asian.
So,
No, I used to play the piano. I haven't had a chance to really do it as well. But like June's character, you know, we all had to learn an instrument. So I do want to get back to it. And you know, playing the guitar, my husband can play it a bit, but it's been a dream of mine to play the guitar, and I will pick it up and I'll be into it for months and months, and then something else, you know, takes my whole energy and I can't get back to it. Robert Rodriguez was so incredible. He'll bring his guitar on set, and in between setups, he'll just like be playing and singing. He's so prolific in everything. So he's inspired me to try to pick it up again. And Tim plays too. So I'm kind of challenged now. So
do I do I hear a Boba Fett band coming up, I guess?
That
there
was
is
my
a
question.
fan. Absolutely. Off stage.
Maybe we can get that in the outtakes for maybe down the line. You
Yeah,
guys
that would
all
be great.
playing. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be really cool.
no. Very talented guys.
Dino, I think we can skip the 50th question because she already answered that one. So,
Sure, I'll jump on to my question then. This is a one I've been hoping to ask the whole night, or morning, really. You're one of the only people that I know who's achieved what I'd like to call the Disney triple threat, right?
Mm.
You're a Disney princess, you're a Marvel superhero, and now you're a Star Wars bounty hunter. Like, you're all three things that people aspire to have, like in the Disney universe. So, which of these characters resonate with you the most, and maybe which ones resonate most with your children?
Hmm. Um, oh, and don't forget I'm a Disney legend now too. Just throwing it out there. No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, okay, first of all, I want to clarify. A lot of people argue like Samuel Jackson has done it, you know, with Marvel and but I'm
She's
like,
not
but
Samuel.
he's
He's
not
not a
a
princess.
princess. Thank you. So I got one over on Sam. Wow. No, in fact, when he came to be see, I'm forgetting all these names. Who does he play in Marvel?
Uh, uh, um, uh,
Nick
um,
Fury.
Huh?
Nick Fury.
Nick
Thank you.
Fury. Yep.
See, I don't have enough coffee. My brain just goes. Okay, as Nick Fury, but when he came on set, I was excited only because I've never worked with anybody who was a Jedi. So that I just had to throw that in. But oh, it'd be so cool if I get to work with him. Okay, again, what was the question? I'm so
Favorite of
who do I relate
princess,
to?
yeah, princess, superhero, or bounty hunter.
I definitely relate to Mulan, 100%. You know, a girl who always felt like maybe I can't live up to my parents' expectations and wanting to do something because I mean, when I wanted to be an actor, my mom was just like, "Are you crazy? Um, you know, do something else." So until I got into Carnegie Mellon for drama, then she was really impressed that they actually teach acting. She would be like, "Oh, American school, so easy." Um,
Oh, Asian moms.
like she was so amazed that I can get a degree in
Acting.
acting from a prestigious college. She was
I
From
so
love her.
amazed. But then it kind of legitimized it a bit for her. So yeah, I'm definitely Mulan, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I haven't saved a country yet, but
How old are your kids, and which characters resonate with them?
my daughter is 20 and she would probably say Mulan.
Hmm.
And my son is 15. He loves Star Wars also. So I raised one nerd. I'm very happy. My daughter is the opposite. My daughter's like my husband, a non-geek. Um, but yeah, I don't. I think he would probably Fennec. Yeah, he would probably relate more. I don't know, but I don't know how he would. Maybe not. He just likes Star Wars. That's all.
That's
Who doesn't?
awesome.
So we got another question that just came in. Being such a Star Wars fan that you are, what was it like to work with Mark Hamill?
Right.
Whew, that's a biggie.
I can tell you,
I mean,
Clarity,
no. I'm going to have to blow that scene. He was not there.
oh, he wasn't?
Okay. Um, it was, but he was. It, gosh, how can I tell this? I don't even know.
If you can't answer it, we can move
I
on.
don't know. I don't know if I can. I mean, it's not a secret because
Oh, okay.
they've shown, but basically, okay, everybody had to keep it a huge secret, even from us, the actors. Like the character's name was not the character's name. It was Plo Koon was on
Hmm.
the script. And I looked up Plo Koon and you know, and I mean I know what that character looks like. And the person that came through the well, first of all, they also had an R2D2, but they painted the R2D2 green instead of blue with the lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked at John and Dave. I'm like, that's R2D2. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is.
You can't fool me.
Why? I'm like, could we stop with the charade? That's R2D2 just because it's got green.
Wow.
It was they were trying to be so secretive. And you know, and the guy that doubled Mark with the glove, I'm like, okay, the dude coming in, glove, lightsaber, cape, come on. That's Luke Skywalker. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, come on.
This is not the Jedi you're looking for.
Yeah. So that's the truth about it. I did get to meet Mark. I mean, Mark came in to do consultation and other things, and you know, The loveliest human being on. I've met him a couple of other times at events, and it's you know, he's he's just the man.
I
And
met
talk
him
about
once.
somebody who's not jaded. Talk about somebody who still loves all of it. I am so happy for him that he's getting like the biggest moment in any entertainment moment that you can have. When that scene happened and people were crying, I was crying. I was there
Yeah.
shooting it. You know, it's just it's I'm so happy for him. He deserves all of it. He gave us so much in our childhood and adulthood, and he deserves all the accolades right now for that moment. It's so beautiful.
It's funny the compliments you're giving him about how how still in love he is about the role and the passion he puts into it is the same thing I'm detecting from you, right? You're so um, authentically happy about all these things that you're able to accomplish in the universe of Star Wars. And the few things that I've seen you say about like your role in Milan, there's just this love of everything you've done. Like, how is that like? Do you have any like memorable moments of you meeting a fan and like what interactions you've had with people who recognize you as Mulan or any other character you've had in the past?
Yeah, definitely at the conventions, it 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 astounds me because a lot of the adult women and moms really who bring their daughters or sons to meet me, it blows my mind because some of them um, they'll cry
Oh
in
wow.
front of me, and I, I'm like, I'm not the Beatles, I'm not, but I understand it at the same time because that's how I would be. Um, I mean, when I met Carrie Fisher, God bless, oh man, Carrie, same thing, just so I understand it. I feel like I'm one of them. It's just weird to be on the receiving end of that kind of love, but those are the perks of what I do, you know, as an actor is you get to communicate with another human being in a way that is no words can describe it. It's such a synergy and connection. And if what I've done is as Mulan or any of these other characters, it can give them the kind of inspiration or feelings of happiness that Star Wars, like Mark Hamill and Carrie and Harrison Ford, and you know, and what George did for all of us, and continues to do. Really, you know, it's unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's really inspiring and kind of you to say. That's beautiful.
Mm.
Um, I guess this is the point of that. So we're down to our last minute. We can extend a little bit more, but we'd love to hear about like what your upcoming projects, not just in Star Wars, but stuff that you may want to plug and share with us in the community. Obviously, you can't talk much about Boba Fett, and we don't want you to if you can't. But everything else that you're doing that we can help broadcast out, please share something.
Um. Well, I'm working on developing a sitcom right now because it's one of my other loves is doing comedy, and I'm also developing a project about the WASPs, you know, the women in aviation during World War II, and about these Asian American Maggie G and Hazel Yingli that were part of the WASPs, which is incredible. Never in my life would I have thought that there were Asian American women that flew during World War II for the cause, for the war. So I'm developing those stories, and hopefully, you know, they'll come to fruition. So in the meantime, I'm remodeling my house. That's a big project. So
Yeah.
you know what? If Wolf wants to give me some cooktop thing, I'm all for it.
So we can. Do you have time for another question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we were asked to ask you if you were a Jedi, what color lightsaber would you have?
Oh, Samuel and we talked about that, and he told me that he told George he wanted his lightsaber to be purple. And George was like, "There's no such thing as a purple." And he was like, "Well, there could
Make it happen, George.
Yeah, so for me, because I love orange, thanks to Fennec, it would have to be an orange lightsaber.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't think there is an orange one either.
I think Ray's was kind of like an amberish, wasn't it?
Yeah, closest one. Yeah,
Amber.
would be yellowish.
Yeah. No, I want it to be bright orange.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So on that, I think Jesse, we're good to close on this. Thank you, Ming-Na, for like hanging out with us. I can't. I'm beside myself being able to talk to you right now, and if it's not showing, it's just I'm sweating fan sweat right now, just like being excited and happy, just being here with you. So thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, that's new.
I'm not sweating. No, it's just Dino. I'm just smiling a whole lot.
But on that, I wanted to say
thank you so much for doing this, and for the charity. I hope raises a lot of money. It's never easy to do that kind of stuff. I'll definitely be donating something, and thank you so much, guys, for wanting to chat with me.
Thank you so much. And remember, folks, click that donate button. Help us out.
Donate.
Yep.
Good cause.
Thank you, Ming-Na.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too.
May the force be with you.
And with you.